Hello class, this is Dr. Sadev and today we're going to write some programs using Java language. And as I mentioned in the previous video, in order to use Java language, we use JGraphs. And I will click on this, always watch the mouse, JGrasp. So I click on the JGrasp, which says G over here. And once you double click on this, we get, there we go. This is what we get. So what we're going to do here is that we will start a new file. So you click on the new and select the Java, and this is what we get. So we have an editor over here. Now I have done some settings already here so that I can write bigger fonts. So let me maximize this here and show you that what I've done is setting is basically you go to the setting part, click on the font, and over here, CSV font size, I've changed it to 20 size over here. So if it is, like the dot over here like this, that means it's fixed, but we can always change it to whatever we want. So I've chosen it to be 20, as you can see the number over here. So let's go back to the number 20. Okay, so then we apply and say okay, and here we go. Now we'll see bigger fonts. So I'm going to write a small program, public class. I will use the name as chapter 2. Chapter 2. Let's make it as 2 program. Maybe I should use lowercase c. Chapter 2, program 2. And then we say curly bracket over here, followed by the curly bracket over here. And so for each curly bracket, there should be this is the opening curly bracket, and this is the closing at the bottom, right over here, closing curly brackets. So they should be there. So inside, we're going to put a method called as, it is called as public static void and main string square brackets args, and then we again use the curly bracket over here, and let's put the matching curly bracket over here. Let's bring it down maybe over here. Okay, so curly bracket over here. Now a couple of things over here I may have mentioned in the previous video. We try to line them up properly. Lined up basically means indent over here. Indent basically means if you look at the P, the curly bracket over here, they are all on the same vertical column. This is column 1. Then I tab it over here. From here to here is a tab. So this is a tab. From here to here is a tab. So you press the tab. So I believe there are about 3 blank spaces in the tab in this case, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So we do the tabbing over here as well. So this curly bracket is related to public static void main method. So indentation simply means push it to the right. That's the indentation. So tab it. So inside, now you can see over here, so this is the first column of that line. So we go to the end, that's already 1 tab. So I press 1 more tab over here, and that's where we start writing our program. Well, maybe, so we did last time system.out.print, and I used in the previous video print line ln, but this time I'm going to use print only, and we will try to work on it. So let's see if let me basically get rid of these extra lines that you see over here. So now, the 4 lines, as I mentioned in the previous video, so these 4 lines we use as is with no question, except we are giving or creating a class which is C2P2. C2 is a chapter 2, P2 is a program 2 of chapter 2. How about that? And this is the body, this curly bracket makes the body of this class. And this curly bracket that is highlighted over here makes the body, B-O-D-Y, of this method whose name is going to be main. Now notice certain things. You have a kind of purple color for these guys over here, and public class is also purple, but this name over here is in black color, and so is this method over here in black color. So the things that you see in the purple color are basically built-in words. Built-in, meaning they are already part of the system, which is our Java language. They have to be used properly. You cannot abuse them, meaning cannot use it for any other purpose. Now the main that you see over here, there must be a main method. Method is from here to here. This is the method. Okay. So main method should always be there. And what this main tells the system is from where or which method. I can use the word method or procedure or program to start working on the starting point. So the starting point is always from the method or the program called as main. So that is the goal of this main here. So this must always be there. So this happens to be one method over here. But as we proceed further, we may have 2 methods, 3 methods, 4, as many as you like. From among them, one of them, and exactly one of them, should have the name and must have the name main. So main should always be there. Now at this point, I'm not going to go into details of this. You keep it as it is, this highlighted part, and don't worry about it. Go for it. So that's the end of that discussion. So what are we learning here? What we have seen is this should be as is. Of course, you have to use the name, whatever name of this class you want it to be. And the last two lines, that you see over here should be like that. So this makes kind of, think of this like an envelope, that 4 lines at the top and the 2 at the bottom. And this are the various lines, rather statements that are basically will be executed. So I executed. So I will be focusing only on this area, meaning what is between these curly brackets, which is the body of the method. So here is the body. These 3 lines makes the body, highlighted part. In the body, you have only one thing to do, and this is called as a statement. Statement, okay? It's called as statement. So there is only one statement in this program. We will go over this some other time. I'll explain it in detail, but let's look at one statement only. In the previous example, we had used the print ln. Ln was the line, print line. So let's see what's going on over here. This system is a class. This is an object. OUT is an object of the class system, which is pre-written for you. And print is a method of the class out. I'm sorry, of the object out. So system is a call, the first one is a call, then there's an object out, and then there's a method print which belongs to the out object. So remember, I said incidentally class, but this is an object. So what is inside will be print it. So let's put I'll make it simple. I'll put only A. That's it. Okay, you can put as many things as you has, because this is referred. The green color is for the string. Its string is always enclosed within the double quotes, and it has a green color, as you can see right over here. Okay. So when you do that, the first thing that we have to do, as we mentioned before, we save it. So here we go. I'm going to click save. And everything is, if everything over here is good, only then you will see this name that you see, C2P2 at the top, which is public class. C2P2 will appear over here. Look where the mouse is now, C2P2. And the name must be C2P2.java. So whatever name that you have in the class, that's what will be over here. If something is funny over here, something is not okay within the program, this file name will not be appearing, which means we have to go and fix something, something went wrong. So I am going to save it. The question is, where do I save? Well, incidentally, I have a folder or a directory ch202. Let's look at it first. So this is under my C drive, and this is the APS. I might change it shortly, or maybe after the video is over. There is another directory, or folder means the same thing. A minus minus with a COR. COR is for the course, and 199 is a course number. And I have another folder, 1F2021. Under that, I have a folder called a CH02. That's how I organize the thing. You don't have to have that many, but you can go with, maybe it's a good idea to go this way. But you can choose whichever folder you like to put your program in. But if you're in the learning process, it may be a good idea to use this hierarchy, this tree structure from the top, from the C drive to that directory, to that directory, to that one, then to that, and that. So within this, that's showing at the top in this little box, look in. So here we go. So now I have not saved it yet. So I'm going to click the save button over here, and then watch what happens on the left side. Watch where the mouse is. That's where the name of the file will appear. Click on the save. There we go. See, now it appears right over here on the left side. So file has been saved. What do you think we do after? We are going to compile it first, and then we're going to run it. Or run basically means to execute. So plus, and then this little guy, that's a run that you can see perhaps it's running. Okay. Now notice at the bottom you have compile messages, and then there's a run IO. Let's look at only these two things. In the compile messages, there is nothing in this window. As I mentioned before, this, watch where the mouse is the editor, and the one over at the bottom is the console, and we are with the compile messages, as you can see on the left side. So when I click on the compile, something will happen over here, and let's click it, compile. This is what's going to happen. If you see something like this with nothing between this line and that line, nothing appears in between, that means everything went very well. Everything is good to go. And machine code has been produced, and that all we do is after that we run. When we run and click this red guy over here, the output will go into run IO, input output tab. So I'm going to click on this guy, and watch happens. It will change from this tab to that tab. Click. There we go. So you see change, and then it ran, and then you're seeing between this line and the last line this as an output, which is coming straight because of this string. So it means when you're printing this, the quotation is not part of the output. That means quotation is not part of the string that is highlighted over here. The string has only A in it. That's what that means. Okay, so far everything is went well. So I think what I will do is I will add on one more statement. One more statement. So I press the enter key over here. Watch what I'm doing. When you press the enter key, I can again type system dot out dot print. I'm going to use print now. Okay. And I'll say double quotation B, and I'll make it simple. You can make it fancy by putting your name, address, or whatever else you want. And generally what I do, I leave a space between right over here. See where this cursor happens to be? Right over here, right there. Okay, just to make it a little neat and clean. So if I press now, in order to execute, I should follow the 3 steps. First step, to save it so that we don't mess it up. Then we compile. Now, if you compile, watch, the earlier compilation gave you this. But if you compile again, this will remain here and a new message will pop up down below. Let's do that first. Boom, there we go. So this is the latest compilation. This is the old over here at the top. This is the latest. Maybe you are to, it's a good idea to clean it first before you compile. So I will clear. Clear will clean everything, even though it has been compiled, but let's do it one more time. Compile. There you go. So I compiled twice. It doesn't make a difference. The old is written by the new one, overwritten by the new file. Okay, now I run it again and watch what happens, and I think I will explain as we go forward. Boom, there we go. So, well, you know what? This is output from the previous, and this is the output from the latest. Maybe I should have cleared that also and run it again. You can run as many times as you want. There you go. Now what happened? Now what you're seeing is A is printed because this A at the bottom is printed because of the A at the top. And then B is printed right over here because of the second statement. You might be wondering, aha. This being the first statement, this being the second statement, we are starting on when we are typing them on different lines. How come B is not on the next line? Wonderful question. Let me clarify how it works. Now, assuming, now you got to think in real life. Consider this area as a piece of paper on which you are going to write with a pen. So you are doing hand write. With the hand, you are writing something. And the starting point is somewhere over here. This is the page size. This is not part of the page, and that is not part of the page. So this is the beginning, one boundary of the page. This is the other boundary of the page, and page is right from here to here. Piece of paper, highlighted part. So on this piece of paper, obviously, remember, you were told when you started writing, always be over here to the left of, or not to the left, where A happens to be. That is where your pen will be at that place. That is referred to as output cursor, pointer. You can use different words, output pointer, output cursor, right? So before you had printed the A, the writing head, your pen will be somewhere over here underneath the A. And look here, you are at the top, you say print this information. So it prints A. So it prints A, and where do you think now the printing head or your pen happens to be? It will be where the B is, to the right of A. Remember, when you write something, your pen is to the right. You write on the right-hand side of the same line. Think like that. Then it will be much easier. Now, so this is over. That's what it is. So you did not move, the pen is still where the B is, but B has not been written. Why? Because this line at the top has not been executed. So now we execute that line. Once it is executed, it'll print the B. After printing the B, where do you think the printing head will be? It is somewhere over here. Look at the bottom where the highlighted place is. That's where it is. Cool. Program is over, output is over, we are done. You may have questions. That is a different question altogether. Let's add one more line. Now, what I'll do is I'll basically copy paste, control copy, enter, and control V to paste it. There we go. And make sure we indent it. Oops. Oh, not that tab. Space will take you to the. They should, these S's, serious over here, they should be lined. The capital S, capital S, capital S. They should be lined up properly. And we will try not to have this extra line. Let's save it first. Well, let's change it to C over here. And the fourth line, we'll change it to D. Oops, not capital D, lowercase d. There we go. So what do you think is going to happen now? Think for a second. I'm using print. So therefore, A, B, C, D will be printed on the same line. I think I saved it, compile it, and let's clear it out. It's okay. We can then run it, and we have this guy, A, B, C, D. Oh, maybe I printed the capital C. Let's go back and change to lowercase c. Just for C. Maybe I press accidentally the cap key. Save, and let me clear this guy. So I compile and then I run. See, all A, B, C, D are on the same line. So the question you may have, how come it didn't go on the next line? Well, if you want to go B to be on the next line, you have to go here and use a different method, ln. So when you use a ln, what's going to happen? The B will end up on the next line. So let me do it first, and then I'll explain what happened, how it happened. Compile, and don't worry about this part, you know, right? And then run. And there we go. Let's clear this up to start again. There we go. So you see now the B is on the next line. So now this is a good time to explain what is happening. When you say ln, that's what we are focusing now. So I'm trying to explain the difference between the print and the print line. That's what it is. Line is spelled as ln, not line. Okay, that's a method. This is how it is, has been written, pre-written for you. So what that basically means, what this will do is after finishing this work, meaning printing this string over here, the cursor will be to the right of A, right somewhere over here, right? Look at the bottom. But because of the ln, the cursor, the printing head will go to the next line. That's what the ln refers to. Cool. So that's what it does. So when you do not put, watch the second line over here. When you do not put or do not use ln, it's the same line. So B, C, and D will be on the same line, right? So what happens if I put it over here, ln? Well, that basically means after printing the C, the cursor will go, the writing head, the cursor, printing head, cursor is the same thing, will go on the next line. And so the D will appear on the next line. So what will be the output? If you pay attention to this program, this is the only part we are concerned with now. Don't worry about what is over here, what is down below. So what's going to happen? A is on the first line, B and C will be on the same line because print, this is print and the print line. Print line is on the third line. So after C is done, then you go to the next line. So you will have A, B, C, A on one line, B, C on the next line, and the D on the third line. So let's execute. Boom, there we go. Oh, we compiled it. Okay, fine, fair enough. So you can see that, and you can very well see how it works. Okay, So we have seen the difference. That's what that print line does. Okay. So what about, let's say, if I want to have AB on one line and CD on the next line, what would I do? AB on the first line and CD on the second line. Think. That would mean we will get rid of the ln from here. And since you are on after B, you want to go to the next line, you want to go to the next line, say ln over here, and you want C and D to be on the same line. That's what you want to do. So we save it again and we compile. Of course, the old compilation information is there. We go to this place and we run it again, and I could have cleared it up, but let's leave it like that. Run. So you see now AB on one line and CD on the next line, and that is because ln is being used over here. Okay, makes sense, right? We are clear about that. So this is the difference between print and print line. That's what I've been trying to do. And I'm using simple examples, A, B, C, D. You could put any string you want. You can have, my name happens to be this, fine. Second line, whatever. So it's, you go for it. And this is how you can place. I'm going to use very, very simple messages so that we are clear about the what is going on. So with this, I think I will stop this video. So folks, stay safe and stop recording.